So hey girl, hey, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I want to talk about healing. What is healing and why time is irrelevant when it comes to your healing? Yes, that's what I said. So if you're interested in a video like that, please keep watching. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And in this video, I want to talk about healing, girlfriend, and getting through some things and what is healing. Because oftentimes I think people, they talk about healing, like you got to do the healing. You got to do a healing before you move into a relationship, which is great advice. Moving into another relationship without doing the healing is definitely not advised. But what is healing? So I think that a lot of times people are like, I healed, I took the time. But the thing is, when it comes to healing, it doesn't have to do with time. It has to do with work, the inner work, the energetic state. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. What is healing and why time is irrelevant, because time really doesn't matter when it comes to healing if you do it right. And so yeah, let's talk about it. So I want to do a super casual video again, like we always do, because I'm just into that. So that's just my vibe for 2022 is, casual. Let's just talk, chit chat, what is healing, and like get into it. So if you know anything about my story, you know how I have transformed my life. I went from single mom, not having a home, to in my dream home with my partner and my family. That's my story. And I actually had to do a lot of healing to get to this point. And, a lot of people would always say, you got to do the healing. And I'm like, okay, like, what book is the healing? So, what class is the healing? Like, what is this healing people are talking about? And I realized after going through my own journey and looking back, actually looking back, what the healing truly was. Now, I've done a video on my channel about what is the healing, and I actually shared, oh, by the way, we are drinking green juice, and this is actually from my sister's business. She made me this tumbler, and I'm drinking some sort of green juice. It's got a lot of greens in it. Doesn't taste very good, but it's good for you. So that's what we're drinking. But I did do a video on what the healing was and what the healing is. So basically, when it comes to healing, you are changing your energetic state. You are shifting from one state to another. Now, what is your energetic state? Now, your energetic state is all of this. This is what they call the inner work. It's the thoughts you're having, how you're feeling, your perspective, the stories you're telling, all of this inside of you. That is your energetic state. And so what you're doing when you're healing is going from one energetic state and shifting into another energetic state. Now, in that video that I talked about, when I was talking about what is the healing, I talked about the thought patterns that you're having, the narrative that's going on in your head. That is major. The thoughts that you're having are major. Is major, are major. Literature and grammar wasn't my thing. But it is super important when it comes to healing, because that, my friends, is the healing. You're shifting from one state to another. Now let's talk about these states, okay? Now let me look at my notes, girlfriend. I have my notes. Yes, I have my notes. So the state that requires you to do healing is that you're coming from a broken state. Like if you go through a breakup or something like that, a divorce, something traumatic in your life, you're going from a broken state and you're going to a whole state. So the healing is going from these states. Now, some of these states can be, not limited to, broken, worthless, feeling worthless, a low energetic state, a low state, or a distorted state. Now you're going from these states, the healing process, you're shifting from these states to a fulfilled state, a high state, a conscious state, a worthy state. That is the healing. So the healing process is the shifting process from these low states to a more whole, fulfilled, high state. That is the healing process. It's that bridge that happens from getting that from that one state, from the broken state to the more high state, the more whole state. That is the healing process. And so that's why time really is irrelevant when it comes to healing. Because if you do the work, if you do the process from shifting from that state to the more high vibe state, it really depends like how broken you are or how of a low state you're in. It really depends on the work that you do, because really what you're doing when you're shifting, the process is changing your thoughts, changing the way that you feel, the stories you're telling, the perspective that you have. And you can do that in an instant. You can decide. You can do that in an instant. You can decide. You can make the decision. Now, oftentimes, why we are in that state is because it's a pattern. It is a pattern that has been occurring. It's the same kind of thoughts that we've been having, the same kind of kind of feelings, the same kind of emotion, which is energy and motion. So you're changing the energetic state. Everything is energy. I say that a lot on this channel, but it's true. Everything is energy. And so, what was I saying? What was I saying? But that's why time is irrelevant, because it really is about deciding on the thoughts that you're having, the stories you're telling, the perspective that you're choosing to have on a situation. So time really is irrelevant. You can change in an instant if you choose to. But the hard part, okay, this is where I was at. The hard part is because what got us in that broken state, that distorted state, that low state, that worthless state in the first place is patterns, continual thoughts, a narrative that's been playing for a very long time. Now, I've always talked about how do we change those thoughts? How do we change our subconscious minds? How do we shift? And it's really about, and there's different modalities that you can use. I'm a fan of subliminals. You can do journaling. You can take classes. You can meditate. Meditate is super powerful. You can do a lot of these things to help change those patterns that had you in that state in the first place. And so the process is how do you get from that state and you shift into the next state, the more high vibe, the more healthy, whole state. And so you can make the choice in an instant. You can. That is very possible. Oftentimes, that's not the case for a lot of us. We have to do a lot of work and take a deep dive into ourselves and see, what thoughts we're having in the first place, because sometimes we're not even aware. And you have to be aware. You have to be cognizant of what's going on in your reality. What was showing up in that relationship? What led to its demise? Those kind of things. And reverse engineer the thoughts, the feelings, the perspective, the stories you were telling yourself that got you in that state in the first place. And that, my friends, is super powerful when you take ownership of that. You take ownership of the thoughts that you're having, the thought energy that you're emitting, because everything is energy. So the thoughts that you're having emits the energy that creates your reality. All of these things, the perspectives, the beliefs you have, the stories that you tell, all of this is energy that you're emitting. If you think that every man's a cheater, then guess what's going to keep showing up in your reality? And so that's what, and that's also why it's super important to do the healing process, to shift into a different state. Because when you're in a state of brokenness, when you feel hurt and lost, and you're in these kind of states, the people that you attract, the things that you will attract in those states, is not what you want anyways. And so that's why it's important to do the healing process, to get to that state. Once you heal and you do the healing process and you get to that state on the other side, the people and the relationships, the opportunities are incredible. They're amazing because you're in a different state. And so that's why it's important, because you don't want to see the same kind of patterns showing up in your life. If you were in a state where you thought that every man cheats and you don't do the healing process, the next relationship in which you find yourself in, guess what's going to happen? If you think that someone can't be trusted and you don't do the healing process, when you find yourself in a different situation or relationship or marriage, guess what's going to show up? If you think that you're not worthy of a beautiful, amazing, incredible relationship, guess what's going to show up in your reality? And so that's why doing the healing is important. But, I want to be clear on what the healing process is, because when I was going through my stuff and people were just throwing around this word of doing the healing, I really honestly did not know what that meant. I'm like, is it time? Is it a book? Like, what can I read? Like, what course? Like, where's the website? Is it healing.com? Like, what is it? Like, what is it? Do I need to go to that website? Like, what is it? And, like I said, looking back, I'm like, oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. That was the healing. I've always been a person that was like, I want to be better. I want to level up. And I talk about leveling up on this channel. I want to be better, So I was doing the inner work, changing my energetic state, my inner state on my own. And so it took me to look back and say, oh, that was the healing. That was the healing. Recognizing what it was in myself that I needed to fix, and fix it. And fix it. Not grieving, not just grieving, like not just being like, give some time, like time will heal all. Time doesn't heal all. Because you know what? We all know that same person that has the same issues year after year after year. And they can't figure out what it is. It's you. It's you. They can't figure out what it is, but they have the same issues year after year after year. Time didn't heal that. It's a choice. It's a decision. Now, healing can be an instant decision. That's why time is irrelevant. I keep saying that. But oftentimes, because we find ourselves in situations over and over again, we have patterns. It takes time to correct those patterns, So that's all for this video. I really just wanted to share what is the healing and why time is irrelevant when it comes to healing. I hope this video helped you, and my story also helped you as well. If you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. I like to talk about the subconscious mind, leveling up, manifesting. Manifesting is my jam. Feminine energy is my jam. We are going to be dropping a course here soon called Manifesting Made Basic AF. And I'm going to leave a link below. We're going to do it on Meetup. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out the link below for that upcoming workshop. Super excited about it. How I was able to transform my life. My life looks completely different. And it hasn't even been a year. It's been less than a year. I mean, I don't even, maybe 6-7 months it's been. My life looks completely different. You know, I went from a single mom, didn't have a home, now with my partner and my family and my dream home. And so, yeah, that's all for this video. If you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. I think I said that already, but I will check you guys in the next video. Peace.